Hello once again, my people, it is I, Vid, and welcome back to Danganronpa 2. Last episode, everyone just, decided to come back to life. All of a sudden, everything was, glitching out, everything was, a simulation, which is what I'm thinking is happening, because I was like, why else would it be like that? And now we're in Hope's Peak Academy, so now we're just gonna have to probably go through the whole entire thing and just see what... He just said investigate, so we're just gonna go investigate. So, let's get started. Alright, Chibimos. How's my darling little Chibimis? Chiboom booms. Oh, you got a little bit of poop. I was trying to remember what button does what. Okay, well, oh, hello. There's still some of you here? Okay, hello. Welcome. Thank you very much. Well, nice. There's nothing in here, so let's go ahead and leave. And let's go ahead and get to my timely demise. What am I? No, it didn't. We're on the 5th floor? Jesus, what the fuck is going on? Huh? That's weird. This is the hallway I walked through to get to the gymnasium, but it's clearly different. Is this Monokuma's doing too? Is he trying to confuse us again? I don't know how he's doing it, but he keeps doing it over and over again. God, he's so persistent. But I'm not gonna go fall for his trap. There's no way that this will make me back down. Alright, well, where was I coming in from? Oh. From there. Okay. Sonia, girl, talk to me. This hallway... There's a strange feeling to it, no? As if an invisible wall has been erected to limit our movement. Is it just me? No, I do get that. Oh my god. Dude, this is glitchy as fuck. Bitch, who do you think you is, girl? Who do you think you is? Okay, so I can get into the dojo. Yeah, I can go inside the dojo. Oh, hey, I leveled up. Yeah, I can go inside the dojo right now. So, strange. Is this a dojo? It's full of strange things that make me think that there's no way we're inside a school. Perhaps it's a mistake to expect the inside of the building to make sense. Alright, so let's check. So, I don't think that there's anything. Does monitors share the same person as the monitors on the island? If so, this would make... this would be under Monokuma's supervision, right? This place really Hope's Peak Academy? Damn it, what's going on? I feel that. Might as well... Armor. It's armor and a helmet. Did the map developers design this to reflect the Japanese dojo? Okay. Most definitely. This is suspicious. This is sus as fuck. Huh? What is this? Is this a manga? The title is Manga for Morons, A History of Hope's Peak Academy by Monokuma. Love that. Why is a manga with such a suspicious-looking title laying out in the open like this? Oh.
Let's start with history first, class. Reading manga is the third best way to learn about history. Then what's the first, you ask? That depends on the person.
Oh my god. Fuck off. So just as I thought, Monokuma made this. That totally explains how suspicious it looks. I really want to just ignore it, but there's no way that I can do that. Fine. I'll look at it. I'll look at anything that might be a clue to getting out of here, no matter what that is. Alright. Oh, that's cute. Look at her. Her little kawaii, isn't it? I picked up the manga off the floor and started flipping through the pages. It's an introduction to Hope's Peak Academy's history, as narrated by the cute character on the cover. The story begins with an introduction to Hope's Peak Academy. Hope's Peak Academy is a government-funded school of privilege, where only the most talented high school students can hope to attend. Built to raise hope in the nation's future, many of its alumni are key leaders of various industries. New students are chosen through a scouting process, but the ones who scout them are Hope's Peak Academy's teachers, who serve as both educators and researchers of talent. Hope's Peak Academy isn't just a school for talent, it's also a school for researching talent as well. However, for the past few years, Hope's Peak Academy has been suffering from a declining in funding. If this persists, the Academy believes that they will not be able to make progress with their research of talent. So they decided to implement a new system. The Reserve Department. Unlike the main department who scouts for students, the Reserve Department utilizes a general entrance exam. Normal faculty was hired and placed in charge to look after the Reserve Department. The expenses and exam fees for the Reserve Department are quite high compared to most high schools. Nevertheless, Hope's Peak Academy received an endless stream of applicants. Hope's Peak Academy was now available to talentless commoners, people who only cared about the brand. With this, Hope's Peak Academy managed to amass sizable funds and begin further research of talent. To create Hope's Peak Academy's earnest wish, a true genius who would become mankind's hope. But just when they thought that everything was going well, an unprecedented incident occurred. The incident that triggered the tragedy, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. Motherfucking Junko Enoshima. God, will this girl, just ever leave? My god. That's right. It was the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. Hope's Peak Academy was crippled by this incident and was forced to shut down without accomplishing anything. The end. Oh. Okay, fun. Huh? The ending was so sudden, like a manga that's suddenly canceled in the middle of its run. Plus, these phrases mentioned at the end of the manga, the tragedy and the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy, these names are so melodramatic. There's no way that these incidents really happened, right? This manga only mentions the name, so I don't really know the details, but no. It'd just be a waste of time to wonder about things that don't make sense. More importantly, I learned something because of this manga. The Reserve Department. The department was only built to collect money. I was one of those Reserve Corps students, right?
But hold on.
That's weird. What you want, Monokuma? I just want to know that if I was one of the Reserve Corps students that had to pay an ungodly amount of money, it honestly just sounds like America. Forget I said anything. Oh, you're here again.
The thing that's weird, is you, of course.
Huh?
Why did you forget that you were part of the Reserve Department? The Future Foundation only took away your school life memories, right? But you should have known even before you entered that you had no talent, right? So, I think it's weird that you actually forgot something like that, too.
What you want me to say?
Based on my assumption, the Future Foundation must have wanted to hide the fact that you were one of the Reserve Corps students.
I got it!
Or you willingly sealed those memories yourself.
Huh?
You wanted to be confident in yourself, so you wanted to forget everything that embarrassed you. You know, when humans experience trauma, sometimes they erase their memory of what happened. It happens pretty often. Not that I'd know anything about that, though.
Are you saying that it's my fault that I forgot? That's not it.
Oh, when things get inconvenient, you'll always get angry and try to, brush it off. Well, that's expected of a Reserve Corps student.
What a bitch. Damn it, what the heck? Oh. Oh, I'm getting truth bullets now. Fun. Alright, might as well. Cherry blossom tea. This cherry tree is in full bloom. It might be a tasteful sight to see a blooming cherry tree inside of a dojo. But in this situation, it just looks bizarre. Okay, next is you. The target seems pretty far away. If the production team had had more time, there could have been a minigame here. Wait, what am I saying? Yeah, I was about to be like, are you fucking breaking the fourth wall again? Cherry tree is proudly displayed of its full blossoms. The falling petals of the add to the elegance of the scene. If Hyoko and Peko were here, it would have looked truly picturesque. For their sakes as well, I will definitely go home. Okay, and there's, okay, training dummy. There's a straw post. I guess it means it was used for training. And the lockers. There are a bunch of wooden lockers here. Each one of them has traditional looking wood block keys sticking out of them. I guess they're just for show. There's nothing in particular that looks like a clue. And there's no other Monokumas that are hiding in here, right? I don't see any. Yeah, I think I'm good. Yeah, let's leave. Yeah, let's leave, bitch. Okay. So that's the dojo. Where else can I go into? I can't go into the gardens. I can't go to... Hey, Kazuichi. What's up?
What's going on?
This hallway. It's kind of creepy.
Stop glitching.
I can't go to places that I should be able to. It's like some rule is being enforced for no reason. It's like there's an invisible wall or something.
That, I can't. Alright, so I see that that's open, but so I can't go into the classroom in there. Ooh, hello. And I can't go into the bio. I have to be in a simulation. Like, this has to be a simulation, right? Like, there's no other explanation for it. Like, how am I in a simulation? I have no fucking clue. There's nothing really all that different. Any Monokumas? Nope, let's read this. Hello, book. This is another manga. It's laying on top of the desk. This one is Manga for Morons, A Tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. Huh. Wasn't the Tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy mentioned in that other manga too? It's why Hope's Peak Academy went bankrupt, and it was the trigger for the biggest, most tragic, and most awful event in human history. Well, might as well read up in it. If I read this manga, will I be able to learn a little more about that incident? Possibly. I took the manga from the desk and started flipping through the pages to see what I could learn about the event known as the Tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. The story made heavy use of outdated, stylized drawings depicting characters solving mysteries. What's written here is, as the name suggested, the Tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy occurred at Hope's Peak Academy. The key player in that event was a student named Izuru Kamakura. Was it Izuru Did it? How likely is it for two people to have the same name? Because wasn't the old man that we saw in the funhouse also named Izuru Kamakura? Right? Izuru was a genius known as a symbol of hope. Hope's Peak Academy used all their resources to develop him. Supposedly, Izuru was a genius among geniuses and possessed various talents. Wielding superior talent for the hope of mankind, the Academy referred to Izuru as the ultimate hope. To protect such rare talent, the Academy completely concealed all evidence of Izuru's origins and identity. Because of that, most of the students of the Academy were completely unaware of Izuru's existence. But Izuru, who was known as the symbol of hope, was responsible for a horrible incident. 13 students of Hope's Peak Academy's student council, along the Academy's best and brightest, were brutally murdered by Izuru. Whoop. However, the incident did not end there. The Academy tried to protect Izuru's superior talent and conceal the incident as though it never happened. However, a certain student began working in secret to use that incident to their advantage. Is that Juko? The student uncovered what the Academy did, and by making that knowledge public, it stoked the fires of Reserve Force students who had long been dissatisfied with how they'd been treated, and the uprising began. And that heralded Hope's Peak Academy's destruction. This is the entirety of the Tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. Eventually, the incident would lead to that horrifying, devastating incident. The incident that would be known as the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. We're excited, Danganronpa 0. Should I play Danganronpa 0? I know that that's what it... Wow. With a heavy sigh, I closed the manga. Am I supposed to believe this? There's no way 13 people were killed at Hope's Peak Academy.
What irony! What do you want, Monokuma? What do you want? I'm trying to read manga! For a genius known as the ultimate hope to cause such a gruesome incident, a talent like that is too regal for society. It's like trying to buy juice with a bar of gold. You should be lucky that you're incompetent.
Damn it. He always has to leave it up to something offensive. God, he's seriously pissing me off. But, ultimate hope? Nagito mentioned that before too, but it looks like it means something completely different here. What Nagito said was the true meaning of hope, but for Izuru, hope simply means talent. More importantly, a genius who possesses various talents. I wish they'd give me one of those talents so I didn't have to be in the reserve department. That's right, the reserve department. Here, it said that the reserve corps students in the reserve department began uprising. Then, what about me? Was I a participant too? No, that's not possible. There's no way. I'd have no reason for doing something like that. Ooh, alright. Anyways, I've learned about the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy, but The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history is far more worse incident, right? What kind of incident was it? And who's the other student that isn't Izuru? A certain student who secretly used the incident to their advantage. Who is that? This incident is really messed up, but all it's doing is raising more questions. The mysteries just keep piling up. The answer that I'm looking for is Junko Enoshima. So, is Izuru Kamakura the one that was the question marks throughout the whole entire time? I'm only assuming that that would be so. Alright, over here? Yep. Alright, Biolab, let's go. Let's go see where Mukuro Ikosaba's body is. There it is. What the hell's with this room? It's freaking cold in here. It's like I'm in a freezer or something. If I just stand still, I might end up freezing to death. I should hurry up and investigate so I can get out of here already. Okay, well, I'm gonna do it yet. I want to do the tarp. This looks like a plastic tarp. Why is this let it out like this? Clean up after yourselves, will you? It's because we were trying to hide the tarp from fucking their body. Refrigerator. I've seen this in movies before. It's a refrigerator for preserving dead bodies. At least that's what it looks like. But that's not possible, right? Keeping dead bodies in a high school biolab isn't something that you should joke about. It just feels so forced. The idea should have been cancelled during development or something. What am I thinking? Why? Can you stop breaking the Dude, we have to be in a simulation. Like, we have to be. Okay, anyways, book. There's another manga just lying around here. This time the title is Manga for Morons, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. I knew it. The next one would obviously be about this incident. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history, huh? Just what was that incident really all about? It might turn out to be something lame. I flipped through the pages of the manga and hoped that I was right. I don't think so. Oh, fuck. That's artwork. That's artwork, bitch. A story about creepily drawn characters who get involved in such horrifying incidents. An incident known as the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. Is this drawn so grotesquely because the incident itself is that grotesque? Anyway, the beginning of this creepy manga starts with this sentence. The tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy was simply the trigger. At first, the uprising by the Reserve Corps students that triggered the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy was initially hoped to be resolved quickly, but the situation continued to escalate to dangerous extremes. The movement started spreading all over the internet and fostered the thriving online community. The community was not limited to students, and people of various races and nations began joining in. But the movement was not confined to the internet and began spreading and eroding in the real world. When the movement started, it was indistinguishable from any other demonstration inspired by social unrest. But as it spread across the world, certain abnormalities soon came to light. By then it was too late. The ends of the means had vanished. It'll justify the beans.
It justifies the beans.
Sorry. And wanted destruction became their only goal. The story butchered the weak. The weak killed the weakest among them. And soon the weak formed factions to brutally murder the strong. As the violence and death continued to spread, the shock of their actions began to disappear. As if the era was regressing to more uncivilized times, when senseless deaths were the norm. The media was oversaturated with deaths to the point where people would watch them while enjoying a meal. By the time the world realized what it had become, it was too late to stop what had happened. A feeling of immense despair began spreading and eventually engulfed the world. Acts of terrorism and coups d'etats began occurring around the world. A war waged in the name of despair. Ooh, bitch. All of this done by Junko Enoshima, by the way. Like, she's a fucking massive bitch, and I love her. A war fought not for principles, religion, or personal gain. Just war. Pure war. And because of that, there was no way to resolve it. Yeah, how could a movement started by high school students progress to such a hopeless scenario? The only explanation is the existence of a certain organization. Oh, Ultimate Despair! Devoted to a certain student who influenced Hope's Peak Academy. a group called Ultimate Despair. Instead of using Hope Peak Academy's talents for the sake of mankind's hope, they used them for the sake of mankind's despair. Key members of society used their influence to brainwash the masses in order to spread despair. Tech-savvy computer programs wrote software to spread despair. The powerful and influential created new values and morals to spread despair. And with this, they created the tragedy, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. As long as ultimate despair exists, the despair engulfing the world will never end. The tragedy will never end. Ooh. Ooh, ooh. My heart was racing in my chest, but my body felt ice cold. And it wasn't because I'm freezing in this room. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. This is definitely all made up. I mean, if this is really true, then what's happening in the outside world? My family, my friends, the convenience store I frequent, the nearby bookstore, my favorite restaurant. What's happened to them?
Hey, are you seriously yelling at manga? How crazy are you?
Shut up. Let me wallow in my self-pity. Let me think about how I can't go to Yard House anymore because everything is going to shit. Who would enjoy read something like this?
Oh my. You don't like manga? A high school student who doesn't like manga is like an office lady who doesn't like to eat candy.
Enough. What is this messed up manga?
I thought you'd obviously know about such a horrible event that destroyed the world, but for you not to remember that. Such despair. That's the Future Foundation's fault, though, thanks to them stealing your school memories. The incident that happened during the period has been completely removed from your brains.
This incident really happened, and I actually forgot about it? There's no way that's possible.
Oh, how many times do I have to tell you all the clues here are real? Please understand, I'm rooting for you. If you don't learn about the full extent of the outside world, you guys will suffer from it. I just wanted to help you guys so you can live well-adjusted lives in the outside world.
I see. So that's how it is. That's what he meant by what he said at the beginning.
Well, as the headmaster, I'm conflicted, you know? On one hand, I'm really happy that you're finally going to graduate. But on the other hand, I'm worried about whether you guys will be okay in the outside world. That's why I'm thinking about telling you what the outside world is like before you make a decision. Whether you want to leave Jabberwock Island or stay here.
Sorry, my phone keeps freaking flickering up and like on and off, and I'm like, I changed the background of it so it's just like real bright, and I'm like, would you shut up for like a minute? He's trying to make us feel despair towards the outside world, so we'll want to stay on this island. But there's no way I'm gonna do what he wants. Despair like that simply can't exist. The outside world should be filled with hope. Just like now. Perhaps... No, that's definitely it. Okay, awesome. Tragedy. And I still got a few minutes. Whether or not this incident really happened, what in the world is this Ultimate Despair group? If they're devoted to a certain student who guided Hope's Peak Academy to its destruction, are they connected to both the tragedy and the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy? Plus, the organization isn't just one person, but a group of people. But if they're known as Ultimate Despair, they're high school students, right? Well, I mean, if they were actually able to do it, then I guess that's why they were called Ultimates. Then, are the killings we're involved in connected to them as well? It's no use. I'm gonna freeze to death. I'm at my limit. I need to get out of here. Shivering, I ran out of the freezing room. Man, I gotta... What the fuck else is there? That was close. I nearly froze to death. So where should I go next? Well, that's up to what rooms are not blocked off. Like, I can't go into the super bloodied up room. Can I go into the botanical gardens? No. I've already been in the dojo, which means that probably... Was I in 5B or was I in 5A? Shit, I don't remember. Oh, hello. Oh, what are you two doing? No, I should ignore it. I'm just gonna pretend like I don't see him. Alright. Well, let's talk about Fuyuhiko. When I went inside this room, the bastard bear was suddenly, he keeps glancing at me. I wonder why. It's gonna be shitty either way. So I'll let you handle it. There's no way I'm gonna deal with that idiot. I don't want to do that either. Fuck. Alright, alright, come on, let's go, Monokuma.
Why, hello, Hajime. I hope that you're doing pleasantly well. Are you pleasantly well? You're pleasantly well, right?
What are you doing here?
No.
Well, there was another thing that I needed to tell you on this floor. I got bored of drawing manga. Can you forgive me for telling you by word of mouth?
You should have done that from the beginning. I don't want to read your manga in the first place.
A high school student who doesn't like manga is like a sumo wrestler who doesn't like eating hot pots.
What? Somebody fact check that for me. I'm getting really fed up with your blabbering. Hurry up. What you need to tell me.
It's about that key piece of information you've been waiting so long for. Surprise! It's about ultimate despair.
Huh?
Even though the term ultimate despair refers to a group these days, it was originally the title for a high school girl who was the most powerful, evil, and feared person alive.
A high school girl?
Lady Junko Enoshima.
We love Junko. I mean, like, Junko's like a bitch, but, like, we love Junko. Junko Enoshima?
As the former ultimate despair, she created a despair brimming with charm and humor, and created the ultimate despairs. There was one really horrible person in that group.
Hold on a sec. I don't know what the ultimate despairs are, but it's not that easy to form an organization. There's no way people would join some fucked up organization created by a high school girl.
Humans who are obsessed with their philosophy have an uncanny power to attract others. It's a trait shared by many famous leaders throughout history, right? I mean, there's nothing strange about it. That holds true for Lady Junko. With her charismatic ability to attract people, she even influenced those in the highest echelons of power. Her connections were the main reason that incident became the tragedy in the first place.
So, she even recruited people who would have been in a position to neutralize the threat? Then, what was their purpose?
What?
Like I said, why did they cause the incident? It doesn't even make sense. They had a purpose, right? There's no way that they did what they did without any purpose.
It was Junko Enoshima's despair.
Huh?
For Junko Enoshima, despair isn't about purpose, a set of principles, a way of life, or an instinct. Despair is what defines Junko Enoshima as Junko Enoshima.
What are you saying?
I'm a stuffed plushie. Hajime is a human. It's exactly like that. Junko Enoshima.
Enoshima? Girl, maybe I need to go to bed.
Junko Enoshima is full of so much despair that she's truly hopeless. Living, dying, eating, loving. For her, everything is despair.
What the hell?
With her overwhelming force of personality, Junko recruited the ultimate despairs one by one. She controlled their despair by taking advantage of their love, hate, grudges, anything really. Junko's despair is far more dreadful than any other. That idea has been slammed right into their minds. And so the ultimate despairs who have been recruited became nothing more than Junko's limbs. All despair, whether it was their own or anyone else's, was dedicated to Junko Enoshima. Like believers making offerings to their god. Like a mother providing food to her children. They dedicated all despair so that they could escape from despair, all in Junko Enoshima's name. But for example, they killed their families and friends and even destroyed their bodies through relentless mutilation.
No. Was Nagito one of them? Because he had no hand and his hand was replaced by Junko. So was Nagito... I'm gonna have to think about it more.
And to hopelessly top it off, they completely believed that it was something that they had to do.
There's no way something that crazy is possible.
Well, do you know about the final days of the resort for students during the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy?
Final days?
In other words,
Junko has the power to change people's values. This is also true of famous people throughout history.
Hey, what do you mean final days? Wait, what happened to the reserve department?
of course.
Well, they fulfilled their role as disposable limbs. They believed in what they needed to do. And so, the 2,357 students of the reserve department all committed mass suicide.
Mass suicide? Bitch. Like, let's be honest. Junko, first off, anime as fuck. Second off, Junko could probably do that somehow.
What'd you say?
All 2,357 students?
Oops, it wasn't all of them. One person was excluded.
One person was excluded? Huh? Is that me? I don't believe it. There's no way that I can believe this. Ultimate despair. Junko and Oshima. It doesn't scare me at all. I mean,
Bastard!
Junko and Oshima is already dead. Huh? Oh! Hello, Junko and Oshima. Look at that. Look at that black outline of Junko and Oshima. Alright, Reserve Department has been updated. Thank you very much. Alright, and with that, I am going to go ahead and pause the episode right there. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Veed. I hope that you had a wonderful time watching this. I hope that you had a wonderful time watching me start investigating, get to learn about the Reserve Department, learn about the most awful, most tragic event of all human history. I don't know. That's going to be the title of this episode. Make sure to hit the like, comment, subscribe button down below, and have a full YouTuber out. Make sure to hit that notification bell so no way to miss any of my uploads. And I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye.